Okay everyone, I have my light color wool, I have my needles, I have my row counter, and I'm ready to work. Firstly, I want to introduce you these row counters. Yes, here. You can count your rows by pressing this button, and you can reset the row counter pressing this reset button. So then you can begin to count from zero. Yes, I'm using a cable needle. You can use a double point needle or you can use a flat needle. I'm using cable needle because the twisting stitch part must be harder on the cable needle, so I want to show you how can you manage the twisting part or the twist stitches with cable needle. But working any needle is easy. On the pattern I used a sport weight yarn and a 3.5 millimeter needle, but now I'm using a thicker yarn and a thicker needle to show you, because it's easy to show you and easy to learn from your point of view. This pattern is a beginner level pattern, so we are using the easiest custom method, which is loop custom method. It is actually a simple loop, just like that. We create these loops with our left hand side, left hand's thumb. I'm wrapping the yarn around my thumb and transfer the loop to the needle. I'm wrapping the yarn around my left thumb and transfer it to the needle. Wrapping it, transferring it, wrapping it, transferring it, wrapping it clockwise and transferring it clockwise, wrapping it, transferring it, wrapping it, transferring it. That's all. This is the easiest custom method. Stitches have their directions from side to side and from tip to tip. For example, from left to right, they have one direction, so we can twist the stitch so we change their direction, and from wrong side to right side they have one more direction. This means they can be a knit stitch and a purl stitch. If you want to create a stitch with a different direction, you have to custom with a different direction. So if we want to create a different direction custom, we custom with backwards loop custom. This is the opposite side wrapping technique. For example, for the loop custom technique, we wrap the yarn clockwise around our left thumb. Now for backward loop custom technique, we wrap the yarn counterclockwise around our thumb and transfer it to our needle. Wrap counterclockwise, transfer it. Wrap counterclockwise, transfer it. Counterclockwise, transfer it. That's all. Clockwise, transfer it. Loop custom, counterclockwise, transfer it. Backward loop custom. It's easy. Now we are working our first row. Knit stitch, knit stitch, knit stitch, purl stitch, purl stitch, purl stitch, knit stitch, knit stitch, knit stitch, purl stitch, purl stitch, purl stitch, knit stitch, knit stitch, knit stitch. Now I'm pushing the row counter. On the second row, I'm taking this stitch without knitting. Purl stitch, purl stitch. I'm working knit 3, purl 3 part. Now I'm purling this stitch because this stitch is a purl stitch. I'm slipping this stitch. This means that I transfer this stitch from my left hand needle to right hand needle without working. Then I'm working my last stitch. It's a purl stitch and I work it as a purl stitch. I'm taking this stitch without working. I'm working this stitch as a knit stitch because this is a knit stitch, and I'm working this stitch as a knit stitch, and I'm following the ribbing path. Oh my god, I forget the pushing. Yes, I'm working this stitch as a knit stitch because it's a knit stitch. I'm slipping this stitch. This means that I'm transferring this stitch without working, and I'm working this stitch as a knit stitch. That's all. And I'm pushing the row counter. I'm taking this stitch without working. I'm purling the stitch because this stitch is a purl stitch, and purling the stitch, and I'm following the ribbing path. I'm working this stitch as a purl stitch. I'm slipping this stitch and working this stitch as a purl stitch, pushing to the row counter, and I'm working again. Now I'm on the row before increasing, so I'm taking this stitch without working, knitting this stitch, knit, and I'm following the ribbing path. This last 3 stitch is crucial, because if we skip this part and we continue this part normally, they may emerge ugly hole looks on our step looks. So we have to be careful on these 3 stitches. Knit stitch, I'm working this stitch as a knit stitch, and I'm turning this stitch twice around itself, and I'm working it as a knit stitch, so we can avoid the ugly hole looks under the step looks. Okay, and I'm pushing the row counter. Now I'm going to cast on a stitch, so I'm using backward loop cast on 1, 2, and 3. So I'm resetting my row counter, and I begin with this cast on stitch. After these 3 stitches, we are going to cast on new stitches, and we are going to create a plait step. So we have to be careful on these 3 stitches again. I'm working this stitch as a purl stitch, and I'm working this stitch again. Then I'm twisting this stitch around itself twice, and using cable needle is not making my work harder. So I'm going to cast on 3 stitches. This time I'm using loop cast on, not backward loop cast on. And I'm pushing to the row counter. I'm working this stitch as a purl stitch. I'm slipping this stitch because I create the plait step. So I'm working this stitch as a purl stitch and I'm pushing to the row counter. As you can see, we create clean, perfect, sharp edges. As you can see, no ugly hole looks, no ugly edges, sharp and clean. Before the decreasing, this time we have to be careful on the decreasing part. Now we are going to create a step by decreasing. So we have to be careful our beginning 3 stitches. So I'm working this stitch. Normally I slipping this stitch without working, but this time I'm working this stitch. I'm working this stitch too, and I'm working this stitch as well. And I'm following the ribbing path. This time I'm working this stitch, I'm slipping this stitch, and I'm working the last stitch because we are going to decrease our stitch from here. So this is not our last row. This was our last 3 stitches, but these stitches were not. So, but for this row, these 3 stitches will be our last 3 stitches. So I'm working this stitch again without slipping. I'm working this stitch too, and I'm following the ribbing path. Now I'm on the last 5 stitches and I'm working this. Now I'm transferring these 2 stitches to my right hand needle. Then I'm passing over the last stitch over to last second stitch. Then I'm transferring 1 more stitch to my left hand needle, and I'm passing these last stitch, this stitch, the last second stitch before, but now this is the last stitch. I'm transferring this stitch over the last 3 stitch, last third stitch. So I make this stitch the last stitch. I'm taking my last stitch to my left hand needle. Then I'm passing this stitch over to this stitch, and I'm working this last stitch as a purl stitch. That's all. This is a clear, sharp step look. And now I'm going to decrease these 3 stitches. I'm taking this stitch without working, knit stitch, following the ribbing path, okay. I'm on the last 5 stitch, work 1 more stitch, and I have last 4 stitch. I'm transferring 2 stitch to my right hand needle to work easily. I'm passing the last stitch over the last second stitch, and now I made the last second stitch the last stitch, so I'm passing the last stitch over the last second stitch, and one last time I'm taking the last stitch, the last second stitch, then I'm working this stitch as a purl stitch, so I create my sharp edges. I'm working this stitch, I'm skipping this stitch, slipping, working this stitch as a purl stitch, knit, 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 I'm working this stitch, slipping this stitch, and purling this stitch, so I can turn the normal pattern. As you can see, we create sharp edges, clear and sharp edges.